Okay, that should do it. So, you are Devi.
Yes, I'm Devi.
Do you want to give your full name or just Devi is fine?
Devi Weinstock.
Okay.
Does the sound okay with the music?
Yeah, it's fine. This thing does amazing sound wonders. So you're a singer.
I'm a musician.
A musician.
Yes, I sing.
Okay. And I think a poet as well.
Yes, I write also.
And you put a lot of the songs on the YouTube and the poems into an email newsletter that you send to your fans.
I put them online.
Okay. And so, what kind of music is this? What kind of musician are you?
I'm a devoted musician.
A devoted musician.
Yes.
Devoted to what?
To manifesting life as music.
Life as music.
Yeah.
And so music isn't just songs and lyrics. You seem to imply a deeper meaning of how music can be in our lives.
Music is right now. Music is rhythm and harmony and resonance, hopefully in any given moment.
So, how do you listen to this music? I mean, with your ear, obviously, but also with
your whole body.
The whole body. Okay. So it's like your body is the instrument.
It's one of the perks of embodiment, is being able to hear the music of life.
Huh.
Being aware of the music of life.
So what is embodiment?
Embodiment is allowing our consciousness to live in our body.
Isn't that automatic?
Well, a lot of people appear to be extremely distracted by these outer phenomena such as TV, internet, and lots of other people.
And cell phones.
And cell phones.
So then how do you not be distracted by those things?
Well, one can make a conscious choice to allow one's awareness to explore with the mind's eye the inner realm within the body, with the mind's eye.
So it's like you are exploring your body.
It's with the mind. It's with the principle of consciousness and awareness. So for example, someone in seated meditation, meditating on the breath, physically they're not moving at all, but they are going within. They're going within themselves. And really they are going within their body because the breath is in the body. It's not usually talked about like that, but that's what it is. The breath is in the body and the consciousness is in the body. So that is embodiment. It's climbing down outside of the mind. It's climbing down from the mind into the body.
It sounds a bit like mind-body integration.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And the breath has been talked about that before. It's been talked about as the bridge between the mind and the body because there's a lot of aspects of the body which are beyond our conscious control. But the breath, it's one of those aspects that we can have control over. We can influence our breath through our conscious will. Like, I can move a hand, but I could probably consciously slow my heartbeat, but I haven't worked on it a lot. But something like slowing the heartbeat might be more inaccessible than moving a hand. The breath is this inner part of the body that we have conscious control over it if we choose.
So how do you control the breath? You slow it down, you speed it up, or do you just focus on it?
Well, a person can simply be aware of it, which means they don't exert control over it, they just watch it. Or they can watch it and do all kinds of things with it. The common one is to lengthen it because it's said that most people, whatever most people is, breathe in a rapid, shallow way. And some people believe that if we take long, deep breaths, we actually lengthen our life, which is an interesting idea.
Huh.
So that's one way, is to allow the breath to be longer, to facilitate it and to make it longer. And another very important one in this culture is to allow it to fill the belly, because part of this culture,
Western culture, you mean?
Western culture, modern culture, wants to not relax the belly. There's this whole thing about sucking in the belly. But when we have a full, relaxed, deep breath, we allow our belly to relax because it's related to the diaphragm. So that's another aspect, which is allowing the breath to fill the body as completely as possible, which means there's going to be an expansion. There's going to be an expansion on the inhale in the belly and also in the chest to a certain degree. And then, of course, the opposite would be completely contracting, so pushing it all out.
So when you breathe and you release, I guess, your gut, how should you feel?
There's no should. It's not a should. It's a question. It's how does it feel? How does it feel? So someone can explore that, which is another nice way to look at embodiment, is in terms of inquiry. Yeah, like if someone decides to experiment with conscious deep breathing, they can ask themselves, how does it feel? And that can actually be a kind of inspiration, motivation, like a exploration.
And I guess that is a very important aspect of this breathing process, where you're learning how to feel again.
Absolutely. Like children. Children have not lost it yet. They haven't shut down yet. They're still feeling.
Mm-hmm. So as a musician and as someone who is tuning into and feeling the music of life, you are letting the breath of your life come through in your music and your poetry.
Well, in my life.
In your life. And so music and poetry are just expressions.
Yeah, they're some of the flowers.
Some of the flowers, okay. In a great garden of your life.
Well, it's a tree.
Okay. Why is it a tree instead of a garden?
Well, I'm a tree. Can't you tell? It's just a metaphor.
Yeah, of course. But you do make a very nice tree.
Thanks. I've been working on it.
But what does the metaphor mean then? If you're a tree, what is the implication?
It's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor of my life, and this is an offering. This is one of my offerings right now.
Okay. So like an apple tree just offers the apple to humanity.
The flowers, the fruits. Sure.
Okay. And so you have an abundance of offerings.
I do.
I mean, part of it is not just your music, but your thesis, because we both graduated from Harvard in '99, and you did a senior thesis on music.
Yeah. It was a very radical thesis, actually. Avant-garde.
Why was it radical?
It was very unconventional.
Well, I mean, So it was new. But what were you stating?
It was the first undergraduate electronic music thesis at Harvard.
Really?
I asked some people, and that's what it appeared to be.
Okay.
They said yes.
But
I asked some people at Harvard, and they said yes, it's the first.
So what was your thesis?
It was a multifaceted project. One aspect of it was an electronic composition, or rather is, because if someone goes to Harvard, they could look it up and listen to it, which is nice. So there is an avant-garde or contemporary classical, but avant-garde is more accurate, musical composition put on a CD. And there is a book also at the Harvard libraries that goes with it, that has drawings in it, and it has a description of my process, and it has some of the journals from the making of it, and it has visual audio information on the composition, and then there was a performance in Payne Hall at Harvard that had lots of big balloons for one part that people got to throw around in the hall for audience participation. There was a whole audience participation part. So when the composition was played, people got to do whatever they want. Because it is an electronic composition, so it's like, okay, well, what happens when something's just playing off a CD? It wasn't a live performance, but there is live performance elements in the rest of the concert. So, multimedia thesis.
It reminds me a lot of the Blue Man Group and how they do avant-garde performance arts, audience participation, electronic music. But they're blue men, or men painted in blue, basically. So it's like you're a pioneer of that, at least at Harvard.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
I haven't done that kind of thing in a while.
So then, what do you do then in terms of music? I mean, you play different instruments. You have learned or you trained yourself to do a cappella singing.
Right. Yeah. So I sing, these days I sing and I play piano, and I've written a whole bunch of songs. And I also play an African instrument called an imbita that I improvise my lyrics and voice with. And then I sometimes do improvised a cappella songs.
Well, it would be great to get a demonstration of that, but we're in a cafe, so I'm not going to ask you about that. I think it would cause too much of a stir here. If we were outside, it'd be a different story. But why did you train yourself to do a cappella singing?
I didn't train myself to do it. I taught myself how to sing.
Okay.
And it just so happens that I can do that now. It's one of the unexpected flowers.
Okay. It's like a gift to you for rewarding you for learning how to sing.
Teaching myself how to sing.
Teaching yourself how to sing. Is it possible to teach oneself how to sing? I mean, obviously you did it.
Well, I
but
did it, so
yeah.
Yes, it's possible.
Did you have a music instructor, or was it just
what?
Did you have a music or a voice coach?
No, that's why I taught myself. That's why I say I taught myself how to sing, because I, on purpose, did not have any vocal instruction at all, except for a few vocal exercises here and there in some Harvard music theory classes, which weren't about the voice, they were about ear training.
So you're avant-garde in your life, almost. Not just in the thesis, but in your personality.
I would prefer to call it free.
You're free. Okay. And so you're using your freedom to free others.
Well, I would like to help. I would like to be of service. Yeah.
And so you express compassion for people, and you are working with some friends to write a book on the body.
Well, it's about being at peace with the body. That's really just one aspect of it. One aspect of it is being at peace with the body. It's more about being at peace with the self.
With the body being one extension of that.
Yeah, the body being one aspect.
Have you always been at peace with yourself, or?
It's been a journey.
So you started out in a fragmented state in your mind, and you have increasingly become embodied.
Yes.
And how have you done that?
Through meditation and through whatever came out of that meditation, whatever arose or what seemed like the best response to what arose.
So you use meditation as a way of tapping in or accessing your body and becoming a whole person.
Absolutely. But the thing about meditation, which many others have said this as well, is that it's not really supposed to be a means to an end. It's its own end. It's its own purpose. That's one of the tricks with the spirituality, because people will get into something like meditation because they're trying to use it. They're trying to use it, for example, to acquire enlightenment. And really, meditation is its own peak. It's its own peak, and it's its own valley, both. It's not really about getting somewhere. It's not really about getting something from it. Like, there's plenty of gifts in it, but the gifts are not the point of it. It's like love. It's like, if you love somebody, are you loving them to get something from them? Or even, are you loving them for them to get something? That true love is love for its own sake. It doesn't have a goal. There might be products, there might be things that come from it, but that's not actually the point.
So are you able to experience this true love in your life?
Well, in my being.
In your being. And finally, it seems like in your being, what you do is you ask questions, you observe.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, I ask questions sometimes, but that's not a default modality. I ask questions if I need to.
Well, it seems like your default modality is pure consciousness, pure observation, just the being. With the questions being temporary excursions.
Really, there isn't any questions.
It's just
really, I don't have any.
Just knowing, yes.
There's being. Like, being is, it's a paradox actually, because the space of being, it's open. So an openness is a kind of question, but it's a question that doesn't need to be answered. But it's not an explicit question.
So it's not an intellectual question or a logical question. It's just it's a wondering, a wondering.
It's not intellectual. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
As a joke, it's stupid. It's a stupid joke.
Okay. So you then just maintain this openness in your life.
Yes.
And it seems like the openness then lets the music come into your life, lets you feel it more.
I would hope hope so.
and translate it into various forms.
That'd be great.
So, are you any kind of a medium or channel or just a musician?
There is a space of inspiration whose source is unknown that flows through me whenever I'm offering authentic creativity. I mean, I don't say I'm a channel for some yada 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 entity out there because that's not my experience, so I'm not that kind of channel. But I'm a channel for the source of inspiration to flow through me, which is accurate because it's not really me. It's me saying I agree to allow this to be expressed through me. But it's not like channeling some angel or something.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes you a great channel, because you don't question it, you don't...
Well, I'm a channel for life. I'm a channel for life.
The Life Channel.
Yeah.
And I think... But isn't... That's what your name is? De Vie.
Yeah.
From life.
Vie, flower of life.
So you're a perfect embodiment of your name.
Yeah. As well named.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Mara.